Back day at Elite. Let's get after it. All right, guys and girls, here we are. Another glorious back day at Elite. And what I want to do is I'm going to talk you through and walk you through exactly what I chose to do today. Now, I had to make a little bit of an alteration intro workout, and you'll see why in a minute. But to start off the day, I'm going to show you a new exercise that I've been tinkering around with the past week and a half. And I love it so much that I thought I'd bring it to you on YouTube. So let's get into this workout. Exercise number one. I know no other way to call this than a seated cable stretch for row. So what I did here is I just have an incline bench set at roughly 45 degrees, and I put a D handle at the low cable, and then I'm just bracing off of this bench, guys, and I'm trying to let that lat open up all the way. So if you look, it's a really exaggerated or extreme stretch. And then as I'm pulling back, I sit up tall, keep my posture great, drive my chest to the ceiling, and squeeze my lat as hard as I can. So if you look at this start to finish on both sides, you can see how much it's actually working my lat. And I'm not gonna try to say that this is gonna outperform a dumbbell row in terms of productivity for mass gaining, but I can tell you this, to start a back day, I have been loving it. 5 sets, and he filmed the last one. I was doing sets of 10 up until I hit a really, really hard 10. So again, 5 sets, I don't even know how, I'll probably call the last 2 working. Nothing here was a failure, obviously. All right, now we get into the meat and potatoes of my normal back day. So I'm doing straight arm pull downs with the rope, work down to 120. And then immediately go over and do Swiss bar pull downs for as many as I can get here. I think that was like 9.5, 10, 10.5, I can't remember. But this right here had my lats just rolling. So coming off of that stretch row into this normal superset I've been doing has my back feeling absolutely wonderful. First rowing movement of the day is gonna be the single arm DY row seated against the chest support. Chaz filmed me doing the left arm, felt good, felt heavy. My lat was getting crushed. Then for some reason after the 3rd rep on my right arm, my right erector started to cramp uncontrollably. So instead of just muscling through it, I just said, hey, let's take a deep breath and strip 2 plates and come back to double arm at the same time with 2 plates. And that felt great. So if you look here, guys, I just have the seat set a little bit lower than I would for the single arm. And then I'm thinking about driving back, squeezing my back like I would right before I'd open up in a rear lat spread. Next up is gonna be the Cybex row. I had on my schedule that I'd send him what I wanna do. I was gonna finish with dumbbell rows from my upper back, but with that erector still feeling kind of crampy, I didn't even wanna put that at risk. So another chest supported row here with the Cybex, and I just worked up to the stack, which is 200. Did as many as I could, dropped it down to I think 125 pounds, and then just did everything I could there to wrap up the upper portion of my back. last thing of the day here, guys, is reverse hyper. So with that erector being pretty damn near locked up, all I want to do is just loosen it up. So I could have done a hyper extension, but with this reverse hyper, it allows me to really stretch those erectors and work them thoroughly. So I did 1 quarter on each side for a set of 10, and then what you're going to see here. So I put 2 quarters on there. I did 2 sets of 10 with a 30-second rest period. Then I dropped down to 1 quarter a side, did 10. And then immediately walked over and did a hanging pull-up with a neutral grip just to stretch everything out. And with that, I felt serious spinal decompression. My erectors are now finally loose after sitting here for 10 minutes, and they feel really good. So what the really take home here, guys, for this, to me at least, is gonna be listening to your body. I could have bullied my way through and finished the other 7 reps I needed to get on that DY row to match my left arm, but to me, that's not worth it. That's how injury happens. That erector is cramping for a reason, and I need to be mindful and cognizant of that. So again, I could have went over, strapped a belt on, and done my dumbbell rows, but at this portion of my bodybuilding, I have to think and be a slave to the fact that I have to make my lats grow and avoid injury at all costs. So again, instead of doing the dumbbell row, I just simply did the side back chest supported row, and then I'll live to fight another day. So I'll go home, I'll ice my back thoroughly, I'll get a chiropractic adjustment, I'll get a deep tissue massage, and I'll be good to go the next time I hit back in 4 days. So again, with this aging in bodybuilding, or honestly not, because I remember when I was younger, in my 20s and my 30s, I never listened to that feedback. I just bullied my way through it. I would have went and got my belt, I'd have cranked it down and said, I'm gonna get my way through this workout that I have written on paper, because that is what kind of drove my ship. I didn't want to think, oh, I don't want to be less hardcore by avoiding the free weight row. But as I evolve in bodybuilding, I've been through injuries, I realize that these little warning signs, if you don't listen to them, create long-term issues. So again, just be smart, use our heads. Because at the end of the day, like, my back has still worked, it's still super pumped, and I feel incredible, and I have 0 right now pain. So again, be smart, be intelligent, and that's the premise of my training, of what John taught me is, you know, the biggest thing you can do is not only progress up in strength, progress up in weight, progress up in size of the muscle, but we have to be healthy, because if we aren't healthy, that is going to prevent us from doing all the things I just listed before. So until next time, guys, like, share, subscribe. Chris CB.